Please welcome the wickedly talented
Betches video.
There's a mistake.
Betches.
You guys won Best Picture.
Nominees are...
Today, for those watching, we have Meaghan Oppenheimer here from Tell Me Lies, which is one of my personal favorite shows. She is the creator, the showrunner, executive producer of this Hulu drama series, Tell Me Lies. Thank you so much for joining us. I truly am so invested in this show. Like, when I'm watching it, I become like these characters, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm so excited to talk to you about the inner workings of the show. My first question is, what was it like watching people lose their minds over the show throughout the seasons?
It's been really funny. It sort of has made me question my own mental wellness, because I'm like, everyone talks about it being so stressful and so shocking, and this is the level of anxiety that I operate at on a daily basis. I was surprised at the horrified reactions, just people saying it's the most stressful show on TV, whatever. But it's also been nice because, I think we all, especially in our 20s, have relationships like this, and just seeing what a universal response there's been, that everyone has felt so just destroyed in relationships, is very comforting.
The chaos of it is comforting.
I think knowing that other people have experienced the same thing, because I think when you're in a relationship that's emotionally or mentally abusive, it's so isolating, and it is so humiliating, which is a big theme of the show, I think, is humiliation. But I think seeing other people talk about it and say, I had a Steven, I did this, I did that, is, yeah, it's kind of healing, for lack of a better, less cheesy word.
Speaking of Steven, the people of the internet want to know, why do these characters keep hanging out with Steven?
It's funny because we have to talk about that a bit in the writer's room, because certain characters, for instance, Evan, there are very specific reasons why he has to keep Steven on his good side throughout the years. And there's some different levels of, kind of bribery going both ways in that relationship. But I think that in college, you end up surrounding yourself with people that are not necessarily good for you just because you're stuck together. And then we're very forgiving of people that we were that age with. I think even none of my friends are like Steven, but you definitely, you look back and you have friends that you made at those formative times in your life, and you might not gravitate towards those people now, but because you went through such, those specific years with them. This is maybe a generalization, but we deal with this a bit this season. I think that in male friendships, especially at that time, men can tend to be forgiving of other men when they treat women badly, as long as they're fine with them, which is maybe a horrible thing for me to say, but I do think that can be true. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think I like what you said about like college friends. Like, these characters, because we have this like flash forward, flashback, they that they don't really outgrow each other that much because they're all at the wedding together. So they're obviously still like, these things resurface. And so I love that like parallel of, when you see them in college and then you see them after, and like how that changes or how it doesn't for certain characters.
I don't think they're seeing each other all the time in the 2015 timeline. Steven lives on the other side of the country, but it's one of those things where I'll invite him to my wedding because it's more drama not to invite him, or so he thinks. We'll see when we get to the wedding.
From your perspective, talking about the writer's room, what did you talk about as Steven's redeeming qualities?
I think his love for his little sister, definitely one of his most redeeming qualities. And it's sort of sad that he loses that relationship because of his own actions. And he really regrets it. You see him really struggling with that. And I think his loss of that relationship is you've seen him sort of go on an even worse downward spiral this season for sure. And I think losing that relationship with his sister is part of that. That was the one thing kind of tying him to any goodness.
Pivoting to Lucy. She's such a complex character. In your opinion, is Lucy a villain, or does she just make like kind of dumb decisions but has these good, naive intentions?
I don't think she's a villain at all. That has been one of the most surprising things, just the way that people have reacted to Lucy. I don't think she's a villain at all. And I think people who've experienced narcissistic abuse kind of understand, or hopefully understand, the way that those relationships really can change you and bring out the worst in you. You're not thinking clearly. You're not making decisions that you would in a stable state. And so I don't think she's a villain. I think she's very young, very inexperienced. And I think she doesn't have the emotional tools at this stage to make better decisions. But no, I don't think she's a villain. I know that some people really feel that way. My mother hates Lucy. My mother loves Grace Van Patten, does not like Lucy.
I've been seeing that delineation on a lot of interviews where people are like, we love you, this character. Same with Steven and Jackson White. So it's like, it is funny to see them in interviews and you're like, you're so charming.
Both so different than their character. They're both such charming, funny, nice people. Thank God. If they were like their characters, it'd be it wouldn't be worth it.
I want to pivot to Bri and Wrigley. Did you see that pair coming together, or was that kind of a new idea as you were writing other seasons?
It was always something that was on the table from the beginning. There are always a lot of things that could happen, and some of them didn't end up happening, but that was always something that was on the table. And there are little clues kind of, sprinkled along the first 2 seasons, but it wasn't until before season 3 that I decided to definitely do that. I think after season 2, just where they both end up, I really felt like I wanted them to have something pure and something good.
Yeah. Any moments from season 1 that stick out as like those Easter eggs you were talking about?
I mean, Wrigley's first line in the whole show is, "I'm stealing your wife. I'm stealing your wife." He says that to Evan when he picks him up. I know. Isn't that so funny?
Oh my God. Because
Yeah.
I didn't obviously I've watched every season, but because there's like a little break in between.
You gotta watch it all. Yeah. And it's funny because he improvised that line, but because I had talked to him about the possible, future storyline. And so he improvised that and we kept it in. It was brilliant. And then in the Bachelorette party in season 2, you see Bri and Wrigley in the corner kind of talking, but it's very in the background. It's very in the background.
Oh, I love that.
It's hard to trick this audience. And so I was really, I was so happy that no one predicted that and everyone was very surprised.
Yeah, and it seems to make a lot of sense because you didn't think about it in the beginning. Why do you think these characters make so much sense together?
I think that they both have pure hearts, and I think they're both really empathetic people. I think they both take on a lot of the stress of the people around them, and they care very deeply about the people around them, but they end up getting taken for granted by their friends. They're never the person that's like, hey, I need something. Hey, I need help. Look at me. They're very comfortable supporting their friends and being sort of pretending everything is okay. And so they make sense together because they see that in each other and they're actually finally getting the support and attention that they deserve. I think also by the time we get to season 3, they've both been through the most grief of anyone. And I think grief can really bond people. I think it also, the first time you go through like real loss, I think it wipes a layer of guardedness and protection off of you. So you're just sort of like raw skin. And that allows them to see each other for the first time in that first episode of season 3, because they've never really had a conversation alone before that.
Have people's reactions to certain characters surprised you? Are there any where you're like, oh wow, I didn't see it that way?
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise because people are so hard on women, but the audience's reaction to Lucy, which I already talked about, has been surprising and sad for me, and I think a little bit unfair. But also, even this season, I'm seeing some people react to Pippa in a really hostile way. They're very upset that she hasn't come forward with the truth to help Lucy. And I'm like, she doesn't owe that to anyone. She doesn't owe anyone the truth of what happened to her with Chris. That's her own private thing. And I think there are people who sort of have expected her to bail Lucy out at this point. Yeah, people have been really hard on her. And also, I think I was surprised that a lot of people did not see Bri as a total victim in the Oliver storyline. That really blew my mind. I got a lot of comments like, well, she knew he was married and she's 19 years old. It's completely the power dynamic is ridiculous. So, yeah, those surprised me a bit.
Okay, so mostly the female characters.
Yeah, mostly how people reacted to the girls.
Yeah.
People are hard on
well,
them.
I love them, and their like friendship is just so bonding. Have you seen any like fan theories that shocked you or impressed you even?
One that I will just go on the record now and say is not true because it's so gross. People saying that is Oliver Bri's dad, which I find I know it's so disgusting. Our show is dark and weird, but I'm not. I draw the line at incest.
That's twisted.
We are not trying to do. No, it's all over. It's all over the internet. People saying, "I bet that Oliver is Bri's dad," which is no.
That would
absolutely not.
That would be a crazy plot twist. I mean,
yeah.
the internet.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay, I'm glad you set the record straight here because now I don't have to keep thinking about it.
So gross.
So there obviously have been a lot of relationships that have developed on the show within the cast, and you as well, married to, we were just talking about Oliver.
Yeah.
And how did you see those characters, like seeing those characters develop as well as the actors' relationship in real life? Any like behind the scenes you can tell us about that?
In any work situation, people get close and develop relationships. So for me, it feels very normal and natural that these relationships would develop at work. It's made life a lot easier because everyone is so comfortable with each other. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking when a new person comes in because you never know how that's going to work, but we've been really lucky. I'm so happy that everyone still gets along so well. Our cast get along with each other so well, and having Tom come in was just a no-brainer. We love working together. So yeah, it's a very non-dramatic set.
For such a dramatic show, that's a really good thing to hear.
Yeah.
And have you worked together before, or is this the first project?
We did. We worked together on a show called Queen America years ago, and we have developed some other stuff with each other. But yeah, we get along really, really well. We're able to separate work and personal very easily. So
that's great. I'm sure the other actors are learning so much from both of you on set and seeing how that works.
My husband's actually almost 10 years older than me, but he is like such a baby. He's such a little boy at heart. I don't know. He's sort of like younger at heart than everyone else. No, I'm joking. He's amazing.
I love that. So it sounds like the vibes on set were very fun, even though it is a serious show. Any funny moments that stick out on set?
I always joke that I see this as being a horror comedy, the show. We laugh a lot. One really fun, I always laugh when I think about this. When we were doing Slapshots season 2, in the Thanksgiving episode when everyone's slapping each other, the cast were not allowed to really slap each other. We had a stunt person there coordinating it, and they were very strict about that. And then Case, who plays Molly, who's in a relationship with Brandon in real life, just like slapped him for real. And it was so funny. We were all dying laughing, but then the director and the stunt coordinator, they were kind of mad. They were like, that's a safety concern. And so they told me I had to go in and tell them off, and I was trying to act like an authority figure. I was trying to be like, you really can't do that, guys. But I was just, it was so funny. But we were all shocked because we didn't know she was going to do it. We were like, yeah, that was funny. Filming the finale, the big scene with, which I'm sure you can imagine, that was very funny. That was just a very, very funny day.
I mean, filming that scene where like all the truth comes out, was there a catharsis within the cast and crew as well of like, oh, thank God?
In terms of the truth all coming out, no. I think we were all just really relieved at how well it went. There was a lot of anxiety going into it because it's such a massive set piece, and we only had 3 cakes. We only had 3 wedding dresses. And so there was a sense of, we cannot fuck this up. We cannot mess this up. And so we were just really relieved that it went so well. And also Jackson suddenly was like, I think I might have COVID. He didn't have COVID, but he was like, I'm really sick. And so everyone was worried about that. No, it just went really well. It was so funny. And the cake, well, I think Brandon kind of hurt himself with the cake. I feel bad, but he like bruised his leg really, really badly. But yeah, no, that was a funny day.
I mean, it's very serious things they're talking about, but the way that it's filmed is so almost like slapstick comedy where you're like, oh my God, it's just truth after truth, and then seeing the chaos of the reaction.
So funny.
Was it fun to write?
It was so much fun to write. We were laughing so hard in the writer's room when we kind of landed that moment. We were laughing hysterically, and filming it, we choreographed it like a dance. Our director, Tyne, we had a lot of rehearsals leading up to it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes we've ever done. It's always great when the whole cast is there together. And also, we realized that Kat and Jackson had never really had a scene. They had one scene, just the two of them, before in season 1, but since then they hadn't. And so it was nice for them to have all those little kind of secret conversations within that bigger scene.
Final question. So everybody loves hating these characters. Who is your favorite character and why?
I think Wrigley.
Me too.
I think Wrigley, yeah. Yeah, and I didn't expect him to be when we first started writing the show at all. And partially just because if you know, Spencer is so lovely. He's just such a big heart, and he's so goofy. He's super smart. He's very, very intelligent. So he just brought so much to the character that we ended up making the character deeper and more emotionally intelligent as time went on. And having that arc for him, because if you look at where he started and where he ends up, it was really lovely to see. But yeah, I love Wrigley. I
do
love
too.
Wrigley.
I was like, he does start off the whole season as you're kind of like, you underestimate him, and maybe that is part of it. But he is also my favorite character. And then when they get together, I'm like, oh my God, how could I, like, that's so perfect.
It's so great. They had such good chemistry together. They're all amazing. We got so lucky with this cast. They're so good.
Yeah, and it's been, it's just such a wild ride, but it's such a great show. So congratulations on all the success.
I'm Meaghan Oppenheimer, and we are here with Betches Video Cup.